Let's work on the windshield now. So we'll make a new layer above there. And what we're gonna do is grab our pen tool here, and we're gonna draw a shape all the way around the windshield. All right, and now our shape is complete. We are gonna right click, make selection right here. Feathering, we'll click OK, and now you have a selection. So now what you can do is on the new layer that we made, we're gonna click D to go to our default colors. We're gonna hit X to get white as our foreground color. And we're gonna hit Option Delete to fill that layer. So we'll hit Command D to deselect. So now that's gonna be the base of our eyes. All right, so now if we go back to our character, we will copy this bottom line here. So still with our pen tool selected, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click here. We'll click along here. The shape doesn't have to be perfect, but with this long thing, if we click here, it's gonna jet out like that, which you can do. And then what you have to do is you have to click Command and push this back in and kind of fight that line. And then in here, we'll do the same thing. We'll just click and drag and pull until we get about the shape that we want. And then we'll just go up here. So again, same thing. Let's right click, make selection, 0 feather, and then we're gonna make a new layer on top of layer 8. So layer 9, what we're gonna do is, let's hit Option Delete, and we turn this off, and there is our shape. So here's the, I guess the rub with this car is we're gonna have a lot of white on white. So I think maybe what we'll do is we'll fill it with the roof color. Let's do this. Let's hit Command and let's click on this box here. That's gonna make that a selection again. We'll go to our eyedropper tool right here. We'll click on the top here where this black is, and we'll hit Alt Delete. So let's hit Command D to deselect, and then we actually want to flip this. So we're gonna hit Command T and flip horizontal again. And then with that still selected, we just want to make this bigger so it fits across our windshield. And there is our eyebrow. And now what you can do is the bottom layer, layer 8, that's our windshield layer. So we already took our pen tool and drew along the top and got a really good selection there. So what you can do is with layer 9 still selected, you can actually hit Command and click on the bottom, and that's going to give you the selection. So you can do one of two things. First thing we want to do is we want to select the inverse. So we have this area selected now. Anywhere outside of the marching ants is selected. And if you get your eraser tool here and make this bigger, you can go through and erase all of that other stuff that's unneeded. You can either do it that way or you can do it with a layer mask. We'll just bump that up a little bit to get rid of that. All right, so there's our eyebrow, the white part of the eyes. We will work on the actual pupils in a second, but what we first want to do, if we bring back up our example here, you can see how it has some dimension with a shadow. So what we want to do is go into this. So we're going to double click over here. That's going to bring up our layer styles. And what we can do, if we zoom out a little bit, is we can click on drop shadow all the way down here at the bottom. And you can do one of two things. You can go in here and you can kind of mess with this, where you want it to go, or what you can actually do as well is come up here and you can actually just kind of pull this around of where you want it to live. And then in here you can change the spread. You can change the distance, the size, if you want it sharper, and then you can change the opacity. So there's our drop shadow, our eyelid, and then the whites of the eyes. So now I have this shape here, which is just an eyeball that I grabbed from online. We are going to grab our elliptical marquee tool, and we're going to click right in the middle of the eyeball, and then holding Option and Shift, we're going to pull out a shape. So we don't want this part. This is the part of the white of the eye where I just didn't select it enough. So we're going to, on this layer, we're going to hit Command J to make a copy. We'll hide this, so as you can see we got rid of that. We're actually going to hold Command J again to make a secondary copy. So we have both of those. So now, if we look at our example, so the eye kind of sits, let's work on them one at a time. So this eye kind of sits down here, and it's a little bit bigger. And it's also kind of skewed off at an angle a little bit. So with our free transform, again, Command T, we can hit Command, and we can pull this middle shape over just a little bit. And that's going to help that eye kind of lay down on the windshield more. So we'll hit that, and then same thing, rather than using the copy that we made before, since this one's already transformed, let's delete that and let's just hit Command J. We'll make a copy of that and move this one straight over. I think there's probably good. And maybe this one now needs to come up a little bit. So we'll just arrow that up some. All right, so we're going to put these in a group. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to layer 8, which is the whites of the eyes, and we're going to command click that. So now this, we're going to go back up to group 1, and with this still selected, we're going to hit the layer mask button. So what that did is that made a layer mask on the group, on the folded group of that white piece, so that hid the bottom of that eye that we didn't need. So now if we go into this, what we can do is we can change the colors of these eyes. And actually, let's put this above the group. So we'll go into hue and saturation. Let's hide this because we don't need this now. So what you can do is you can use this to change the eye color. So again, we'll make a clipping mask. We'll click into the greens. And then we can change the saturation and hue. So I think this car looks a little bit better with blue eyes. So we can click right there. That changes just the color. So before and after. You can zoom out, see if you like where you're at. So I think I think that looks pretty good. So we have, let's group all of those together into another group just to keep things clean again. And we'll call this eyes. So we can see what we had before and then after.